So, I take it that used to be the marijuana grow, right?
Yeah.
Well, how do you feel, how did you feel living across from that?
It fucking sucks.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, this is the backside of what used to be the marijuana farm. These look like little grow houses to control the environment over there. Some old tarping to cover the ground to prevent other weeds. Now, I know those kind of sacks are used to carry mass amounts of product. The security screening would have been a legal requirement, I believe, to shield the view of the marijuana grow from the public eye. As you can see, it's mostly fell down now. Oh, interesting little hatch right there. And those look like cloth pots right there, if I'm not mistaken. A little pile of lumber over there.
A series of other buildings and greenhouses here.
You can see it has a plastic roof on a couple of those buildings there to let light in. Oh yeah, this was definitely where the grow operation was. No one has to wonder how these folks would feel living next to a substantial grow operation. But I mean, logistically, it's not much different than any other farm, I suppose. Huh. I'm working on a video. It's a personal project. Do you mind if I ask you a couple questions real quick? Thank you, I appreciate you. So, I take it that used to be the marijuana grow, right?
Yeah.
Well, how do you feel, how did you feel living across from that?
It fucking sucks.
Oh, why do you say that, ma'am?
Because I don't believe in it.
Okay. Fair enough, fair enough.
It caused a lot of hardship to our town. It
Huh.
hasn't done anything good for it.
Really?
Well, part of the reason part of our downtown is burned up because of this shit.
So I think you're talking that little building kind of across the street from the gas station up there?
The whole downtown caught fire because one of the druggies that moved in here from California got pissed off at his girlfriend and burned our downtown down.
Huh.
Yeah,
I'm not actually from here. I'm just working on a story while I'm passing through. So I haven't heard that before.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. This town is my family's history. The little gas station down here
Uh-huh.
belonged to my dad's family. The movie theater at the other end next to Hot Box,
All right.
my grandmother used to run it.
So you've definitely been your family's very ingrained in this town.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Where I was born and grew up.
All right, all right. So the probably millions of dollars in tax revenue from marijuana, that doesn't mean anything to you?
$1,000, and that's all we ever got.
I'm sorry, what?
We only got $600,000, and that's all we ever got. We got sucked out of a lot of stuff.
Well, I know you guys opened up the dispensaries before Ontario, and the first year you got...
Wouldn't let them in there.
Say what?
Ontario wouldn't allow them in there.
Right, until you guys did and showed them how much money they'd be making, right?
It didn't work that way.
Well,
It didn't work that way. No. This has been nothing but an eyesore and hurtful for our town.
fair enough. Well, all right. So why are you so hard stanced against marijuana, if I can ask? I'm just...
It's a drug. It causes a lot of havoc in a lot of people's lives.
So they should take beer off the shelves too then, huh?
To do what?
They should take beer off the shelves too?
Well, that's what it takes. I'm surprised the cigarette industry hasn't come in and wiped out the marijuana thing and sold it as a cigarette product.
Well, I mean, there's lots of companies getting their hands on it, and more every year.
Yeah.
So,
But when it first got started, it was supposed to be all for medical. Well, it didn't go that way.
yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I use marijuana. I don't see it as any more dangerous than a beer. In fact, probably less so.
Well, you're still driving under the influence.
Oh, I didn't say I drive stoned. I didn't say I drive stoned. I don't drink and drive either.
Well, that's your choice.
Yeah? No, I choose to be a responsible driver on the roads, yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate your time, ma'am. Wish you a good day. Oh, could I ask you one more question? Do you know about the Greater Idaho movement?
Nope.
So they want to turn the eastern parts of Washington and Oregon into a Greater Idaho.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on that?
It happens. We have no control.
You don't think we have control over that?
What?
You don't think we have control over that?
No, government has control everything.
Well, the government works for us.
Yeah, right.
Okay, have a good day. City of Huntington has deer roaming the streets in the middle of the day. Look at that cute little guy. A big part of the story I'm working on is the dispensaries in town and how they were bringing in a lot of money to the town, right?
Yeah, they were. It was nice, but when they opened in Ontario, then it.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't as many, but it was nice for the local people who couldn't get. It would be nice to have one here.
Still, yeah.
It really would be really nice. Thank you, Mike.
There's nothing holding it up other than people aren't interested now that Ontario's open now, huh?
Actually, there were some people. There just wasn't enough for the dispensaries to keep.
Not enough volume of customers. Gotcha.
Well, during the summertime, I mean, it would be a seasonal business. During the summertime, the visitors, I could see them picking up a little bit more. But
I know plenty of fishermen that like a little toke while they're out fishing.
But yeah, and every now and then I see people stop at this one. I don't know if anybody stops at the other one, but yeah, I see people stop at this one all the time, and it's not open.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So it's really kind of sad because our community does need the money from it. But
yeah, I was in at the city hall earlier, and I forget her name now. Yes, that's the lady. This really is a tight-knit community, huh?
Yeah, it's only 400 people or something like that. So.
I think that's cool. Anyway, Siobhan and the mayor, they were saying it really did pull the town out of a little bit of trouble there while it was lasting.
It did.
Do you know what kind of trouble that is?
The community was heading to zero. Zero amount of
Like,
dollars to help our city.
Gotcha.
So what it did is it gave revenue to continue to run our city to survive. We don't have much left because there was so much broken in the city, and as you can see, there's still a lot broken. But every little bit would have helped.
Gotcha.
Would have helped a lot.
Howdy.
Hi, Hen. How are you doing? Good. Hi. You have a great day.
That is a big old catfish.
Right now we depend on the fishing season.
Right.
To get everybody through,
And with no diners.
Yeah. I mean, we actually at one point had 3 bars and 3 restaurants because at the old truck stop they had a restaurant and a bar.
Okay,
and
gotcha.
Then we had a bar and a restaurant down here.
Right here, yeah.
And they thrived, all 3 of them together. So, and we're on Pacific time and they're on Mountain time, so we closed the bar out there.
And then they'd come out here for the extra hour. Gotcha.
Yeah, so
That's funny.
It makes it kind of nice. Plus, that being said, you have Ontario's Mountain Time with the dispensary. We're an hour early here, so they actually drive. So say they closed at 10 o'clock there, it's only 9 here.
Gotcha. So they still have time to make it here.
They would still have time to make it here, and yep.
Now, I must just say it real quick, and a lot of those people are coming from Idaho.
Yes, they are. They are.
There's no.
And
it's not a secret.
No. They would call us Little Idaho every now and then, but it's known. Everybody from Idaho comes here. It's just the way it works.
Right.
Thanks, ma'am. Thank you.
So have you heard about the Greater Idaho movement?
What is that?
So.
Is that them wanting to make us Idaho?
Yes, there's some people that are lobbying to turn the eastern part of Oregon and Washington into Greater Idaho.
I don't think that's a good idea.
You don't think it's a good idea? Okay.
One, Idaho's a right-to-work state. Oregon is not.
Right.
So the wages are different.
That's one of the arguments I've heard.
If I wanted to live in Idaho, I would live in Idaho.
I grew up there. I don't live there no more.
I was born and raised in Idaho.
You get it.
So I know. I like living in Oregon. I like the small towns in Oregon. I like all this. So I think they should just leave it alone. There's reason why we have little borders and why.
Right.
And trying to. I think they take our little rural areas and the big cities don't want us anymore, and so they think, we'll just shove it off to somebody else. But really, we're really important.
No, I hear you.
So I think they should just give us a chance, but they don't want to. They want to keep the big city. Portland's become New York City on this other side.
Well, I'm actually from out on the coast myself. But Huntington has had an active place in my mind. I wanted to come out here and do a story about it. So you guys aren't forgotten over there, just to let you know.
Presidents have come through here. A president, I believe.
Okay.
They have some paperwork somewhere. This was started by the railroad, this town.
It's a really historic town, yeah.
Years ago, I did a lady's fingernails when I used to do nails. And
Okay, yeah, I saw the little beauty shop there. That's cool.
her husband was lieutenant or captain in the cavalry.
Okay.
So
That's
he
pretty-
was, yes, he was brought here so they could keep the Indians back to keep the Iron Horse going through.
Mm-hmm.
So that tells you how long she had been here and how old she was, and that her memories of being here. And it's just really important that on one of the buildings it said Clark's Cafe, a good place to eat, all white help. And that was
Somebody just told me that, yeah.
That was referring to the Chinese. And there were tunnels everywhere here.
Right, there used to be Obi and Dems underneath the restaurant, and then, yeah.
And it was referencing the Chinese, because the Chinese built a lot of this. And we have gold mines, silver mines. I mean, this
Yeah, I
is
saw
like-
there's a mining company based out of here in town.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more to Huntington than people realize, and the mining is hopefully, fingers crossed, is coming back. I know that we're getting a few. They're kind of trying to keep it low key. They don't want like the gold rush.
Right.
But a lot of people around here still mine.
Yeah.
The community still mines.
Well, I know there's gold in these hills if you go looking
Yeah.
for it, right?
Yeah. So it's just a matter of getting it to come back. And Oregon's kind of dumb to think that they can just throw us aside, because there's some value to us rednecks out here.
No, I
Village and, you
get
know,
it. I get it.
Yeah, because I moved from Boise to here so that my daughter.
It's
and
not
my
that
son,
far.
No, did not have to go through a metal detector to go to school. And there's no reason why kindergartners should have to be searched to go to school at any age. It doesn't matter. But here, K through 12, they did, and then they went on to be in the medical field. So they went on to do better. So
Sounds like you definitely feel like you made the right choice in that one.
I did.
Yeah.
I did, and I just think that trying to make a state something that they're, I think Oregon's Oregon because it stays that way, because they're cattle rancher, small town. Don't make it Idaho. Idaho's Idaho because of the way it's developed and the way it is. Idaho, that shape, that look, that's Idaho. You can't change Idaho. You can't make it something different.
Right.
By adding Oregon to it, it's not going to ever be Idaho.
Right. Now, there's the thing about, it's kind of culturally different on the eastern part of Oregon versus the western part of Oregon. And walking around this town today and talking with people, I feel there's a cultural shift between here on the eastern side of Oregon and, central Idaho, from where I'm from.
Yeah, it's definitely different. I mean, there's nothing wrong with calling us, which they do, Eastern Oregon and, Western Oregon, but still leave it Oregon. Don't change it. Don't make it something just so they can, I don't know if it's political reasons or, there's always something behind it. It's not to benefit the people. It
Right.
to benefit the people. But
No.
if it does become Idaho, will there still be the dispensaries?
See, and that's a big part of my story is because I know the first year recreational became legal here in Huntington, or they allowed pot shops, it was over $500,000 of tax revenue at just 3%.
It was amazing. The lines would just of people. There was almost 2,000 people here a day.
Now that's the gold rush right there.
A day. As a matter of fact, the little restaurant that was there was open, and there was people. I mean, it was so busy. And they closed at 8, which is still too early. But they almost couldn't close because, of course, the dispensary's still open. And
as people are still trying to walk in the door.
Yep.
I know a lot of people, they'd come over here from Idaho and then feel obligated to hang out an hour or two.
Yep.
So what else are you going to do besides, maybe grab a bite to eat or...
Yeah, and it's still, and they felt like they needed to. The nice thing was, is even though they were only here for the dispensary, they still walked in here.
Yeah.
And they still purchased a pop or,
and so that is still helping your personal business.
Well, this isn't my business. This
Okay.
is my friend's business. But
I gotcha.
It's still helping the community, whether they went and got something at the little store over there or they purchased a
That's $5
pop.
that you guys wouldn't have had anyway.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it did make a difference because
Yeah.
it was every day somebody coming in. And the people from the dispensary, the gal loved to drink Pepsi, so she bought like 6 a day. And so
Gotcha.
that was $6 a day. That adds up at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And then you just don't realize, but
It really is the little
he
things.
decided I can do better over here, blah, blah, blah. And so that's what they chose. But I was really hoping at least one of the dispensaries would choose to stay in town.
Yeah, that's
And they
almost a
did not.
shame. Like,
And I don't know how we find some way. I know our mayor, he's amazing, Chuck.
yeah, I talked with him. He seems like a great guy, honestly.
He really is. He's a hardworking guy. It would be nice if there was some way we could ask somebody to. I don't think Stephen Meegan would sell that building, but I think Scott Matthews might sell that building because I think he owns that one over there.
Gotcha.
But it would be nice if we could get one of the buildings sold to another dispensary.
You specifically to another dispensary. Yeah, because like I was saying, I know plenty of fishermen that like to take a toke when they're out fishing. And
Well, and then we had a farm. We had Burnt River.
right.
A farm, and
That was a little over 20 acres or whatever.
Yeah, and it only employed like 8 people, but still, it was 8 people that never worked. They were on assistance. They were on, so that was a plus. That
is
people in
dollars
our
moving through the
Yep.
community. Yep.
Yeah, so that's the sad part about it. It just, that impacted after it sold. Then they decided, oh, we don't need you because they're a larger conglomerate from the coast. And they didn't need us. So.
Yeah. Again, I was talking with the mayor, and it sounded like, or his impression was that there was kind of logistic issues between operating here and operating at their main base out of Portland. So it was kind of logistically difficult for them.
They didn't want, it's so spread out.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be easier just maintain there than try to maintain 2 different.
Right.
Which was sad because the original owner was about, staying here and employing here and keeping it local, and then he got ill. And so then, of course, he passed away, and then, of course, it sells, and you just have to go through the motions. But, yeah.
But you personally wouldn't be opposed to another pot farm out there, huh?
Oh, no, I wouldn't be opposed to it at all.
Gotcha. I was out there, I was just taking some shots of the area and everything, kind of talking to the camera about it, and a lady across the street was like, "What you doing?"
Yeah, everybody wants to know when
Yeah.
they notice. They know you're not from here.
Yeah, well, we gave it away. But yeah, no, I was asking her, so how do you feel about living across the street from this? It's terrible. A disaster for the town. It brought nothing but hate and spite for the people here.
It did cause a little bit of, and I think a lot of it is education. When you actually know, people see what TV makes it, where it's, we're going to arrest you, and look at it, just a bunch of hoodlums. And you have to look at the age group of these people. They're coming from the 50s, a lot of them are.
Right.
They're super old and in their 70s, and they're like, they're nothing but losers, They're all going to be druggies and losers. Well,
Probably live down by the river in their van. And
not realizing that a lot of this goes to really good use. I mean, it helps with epilepsy, it helps with depression, it helps with cancer. And I think a little bit of education and letting people understand the positive aspects of it, then maybe they won't be so negative towards it, but nobody did. Everybody just like, here it is, and this is what's going to happen, and they're like, oh, it's going to stink up our town. And it did. The wind blows this way.
Right.
Everything went this way, and you hardly ever smelled it.
Right. I've grown pot in my backyard. I mean, unless you walk up on it, you don't smell it from out on the street.
I have a friend who grows it for medical purposes for other people, and I wandered around her backyard, and I'm like, so where's your grow at? She's like, you're standing in it.
Right.
And she does so well, and these plants are so large, you can't smell a single thing. She's like, you do it right, and you take good care of your plants.
Yeah.
And this is what you get. And matter of fact, in the neighborhood she's in, you can't even smell it at all.
Yeah. No,
So you do.
That's the thing. A little bit of education.
And that's what she keeps telling me. She's like, if people would be educated and just take a moment, stop thinking about all the negative things. That's the first thing they do is they think about all the bad things. Look at that druggie over there. Well, that druggie's on something else. They're on fentanyl.
Right.
They're not on marijuana made them do that. No, marijuana did not make them do that.
You are right.
And that's the thing. It's just a little bit of education, helping people understand the true fact of how this works.
Right.
And nobody wants to learn. Everybody just has it set in their mind, but I think it would have helped the process. And starting with that instead of throwing it in and saying, okay, we're going to have 22 acres of marijuana. And
So you think they could have softballed it in a little bit more?
just a little bit easier. But
Gotcha.
It was good. I mean, when other people try to explain it as it's great for the community, we really need it, and then some people swayed that way, but then you still had those that were across the street complaining. But even standing there, you knew it's like, oh, you can smell a little bit.
I mean,
They just wanted to.
you're looking for something to complain about. Yeah.
And sometimes as you get older, you just look for something to do.
Yeah.
And,
Well, here I am looking for something to do.
But yeah, no, I really wish that we could get something back into the community, and something like that would be a benefit for us, because it's a long-standing benefit for us. And I would love to see another dispensary. I know they would struggle a little bit, but if it would be somebody who would be, it'd be self-owned,
Right.
and they would run it with their family. Well, I know you have to be a certain age, but
I get what you're saying.
Just be run themselves and try to do it themselves, and understand that that's just kind of the way. And you're gonna have slow days.
Not going to be an 18 million. The first business that opened here, their first year was 18 million in profits.
Yeah, that would have been Stephen. No,
Right.
yes, Stephen was the first one, I think, that came in.
Yeah.
Stephen, and then there was Scott Matthews. So, yeah, they did extremely well.
Especially those first couple of years before Ontario opened up. And that's the point. You guys wouldn't get as much traffic now that Ontario's gone hog wild with it.
But Ontario charges like $14,000 for a license, and they charge these exuberant city taxes, and we don't. We have no city tax. It's $5,000 a year for a license, and we just want you here.
Well, I know that they do a 3% city sales tax on marijuana.
Well,
but that's not what you're talking about, huh?
They changed that.
Really? Okay.
The state changed that. That 3% tax that they charge on that goes to the state, and the state disperses it. They changed that when the state saw all the money they were getting.
The state was taking 17%, and then the city of Huntington was taking 3%.
Which was what the state said that we could take as a max. But
Right.
The
Okay.
city of Ontario found a loophole in that, and they take a lot more than that.
Really?
So it was actually cheaper to come here and purchase the marijuana.
Yeah, I know.
Than it was in Ontario.
I know people in Idaho that would literally drive all the way through Ontario even after they opened to come here because you guys would offer better deals.
It was much, and I tried to explain that it'd be great for us to billboard that.
Yeah.
Because it's not stupid. Then we'd have people actually in our town. But they're like, no, let's not push the marijuana. I'm like, that is the dumbest thing you can ever do. Is not. We should have tried to keep the marijuana in our town. But they were in the hole.
I mean,
$2 million. So Ontario needed. They did need the marijuana, but we don't charge all the extra. So what the state did is what they found out after getting all this money, they were like seeing dollar signs. They decided, well, if you have a small population and you have so many stores, we're only going to give you 50,000.
Oh.
So they changed that. Now I don't know if they've gone back to that. So that 3% is now something.
That's not accurate anymore. It caps out at 50,000. You said.
I believe so, and then it goes.
I'll have to look into that.
It goes by population.
Okay.
So, and stores. So if you have X amount of stores, you would get this much. And as it got bigger, so many stores, because Oregon saw how much money was in it. And they were like, holy cow. And I think it was after we got started, and they were seeing dollar signs like crazy.
Well, and let's be real. I mean, you guys were supplying half of Idaho.
Yeah, it definitely. Yeah, so you might look into that to see that's really changed. And so we started out getting a very large lump sum, and then it went, ooh,
Yeah.
it went way down.
It did after that, huh?
That made a big difference. But we were lucky because the first year, that first year, we got a big chunk.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
That helped us a lot. The first year and a half.
550 something thousand.
Yeah, and then after that, it just.
That's when the state was like put a noose on that, huh?
Yeah. So
okay.
check into that because now it's a smaller amount.
Interesting. That is interesting because, I think that's shitty of the state to take that away from you guys.
That's greed.
Right. That's it. You guys made a deal with us, and everyone shook on it. And then now that you don't like how much we're getting, you take it back.
Yeah, because they were like, we could get a bigger percentage of that.
Right.
It's like a lottery thing. Well, we can get a bigger percentage, so let's cut that.
Yeah,
let's cut. Yeah. So there's a little more to look out for there, but it would be nice if somebody would come in and open one.
Right, and even if it was capped out at 50,000 a year, that would be a lot for this city.
For this city, guaranteed, it would be a lot. Yeah, it would definitely be a lot. So.
Gotcha.
I'll get him. He's across the street.
Okay, you know where he lives, huh?
Yeah, I know where he lives. He's across the street.
Right
yeah,
up.
He just wants to chat. So it would be so nice, and it was just trying to come up with different ideas. I know that the mayor, he's trying to come up with different ideas, like setting up solar so the city could make some money and setting up different things so the city could make money. But that would really be nice because that would be a $5,000 license and a percentage. Well, not a percentage anymore, but a set income.
Right.
So we would know.
And even with the boom kind of killed from Ontario, I still think you guys would probably cap out at that $50,000 a year.
It would be nice if we could. I know that we would do very well during the summertime because I know that it would pick up. It'd be a seasonal type dispensary.
That's what you're saying, yeah.
But it would do good, and I think people eventually would see. I would hope they would advertise enough, and hopefully the city would support enough. I know I would support it enough to know that people who are out of Ontario coming in would actually save more than being in Ontario. That if there's a way to advertise and show that you're saving, you're not paying all those extra taxes.
Well, hopefully there's a person or some people that would like to get together and not go balls to the wall for profit, but just run a small family-owned local pot shop here.
Somebody that's already doing well somewhere else in the dispensaries that doesn't mind coming to a small town.
Gotcha.
And making a little extra and helping out a community. That's really what they'd be doing, is really helping out a community.
Gotcha.
It would really save us.
All right. Well, ma'am, thank you so much for your time today.
My name is Cindy.
Cindy, AJ.
Nice to meet you.
If you want to watch this, I put my stuff up on YouTube. It's going to be under Rebel with a Cause.
Okay.
And you might have to put Newport, like Newport, Oregon, after that.
Okay.
Gotcha.
All right.
Well, thank you so much, Cindy.
Thanks. Good luck.
I might need to wet my whistle here.
Okay.
Let's see what we got. There we go. Let's get there. $1.25.
$1.25.
Awesome.
How about two?
I'm not worried about the change, man.
All right, I'll put it in the kids' jug.
Sounds perfect.
All right. You have a good afternoon.
You as well. Thank you again so much.